Hello, my name is VSin, and this is a snapshot of BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend. Now, this game was a release day game for the PlayStation Vita in North America. That means February 22nd, 2012. I probably should have done it a lot sooner. It was developed by Arc System Works and was published for North America and international by Axis Games. Axis. Don't mix them up, I've done it a couple times before. What this is a fighting game. And of course that means you have the visual roster, fighting combos, and all that good stuff. But one thing that's definitely different about this game compared to others is that it has a much stronger single player. Now, what the hell do I mean by that? Let's start with, for example, the tutorial. I'll just go through the menus. I'm not going to actually go into the tutorial because it would take a long time to get through any of this stuff. So you have beginner, intermediate, advanced strategies. This is all extremely basic stuff. How to move, how to attack. This is a couple of different things. How to chain attacks together, special attacks, and all that good stuff. This is mostly just tactically speaking. All of this is just exposition, but it teaches you about spacing anti-air, mix-up, wake-up, other tactics. And then strategies is just character-specific stuff, really simple combos, general playstyle things. Now this is the entire tutorial. I'm going to show you a little bit of the intermediate. Let's go canceling on special attacks. Rebellion, sure. I'm just going to show you a little bit and then quickly get back out of it. So yeah, it starts with a fight as always. You have to use Ragnar for the tutorials or whatever. Now, a little thing is just the way that the tutorial is presented to you, first of all. So as soon as this loads in, please listen and read. Also, I've set the voice to Japanese, not English. I'll get to that in a bit, maybe.
よく来たわね。ここからは中級編よ。初級編で覚えたことから、もう一歩上にレベルアップするための知識とテクニックを伝授してあげるわ。光栄に思いなさい。まずはじめに、キャンセルについての基礎知識をおさらいなさい。初級編で説明した通り、キャンセルとは、通常技や投げ技などのアクションの後半の硬直を強制的に省略して素早く次の行動へと移行するテクニックよ。ブレイブルーでは様々なアクションでキャンセルが可能よ。つまり応用次第で多彩な動きができるということね。これらのキャンセルを極めれば大ダメージの連続技を叩き込んだり隙の少ない堅実な行動で相手からの反撃を最小限に抑えることもできるのよ。エクセレント。まずはジャンプキャンセルね。ジャンプキャンセルは文字通り一つ前のアクション硬直をジャンプしてキャンセルする行動よ。ジャンプキャンセルに対応した技であれば通常ジャンプ、ハイジャンプともにジャンプの方向を問わず可能よ。ただしジャンプキャンセルが可能な技は各キャラクターごとに違うのよ。気をつけることね。ラグナの場合なら A 攻撃やレバー前プラス A 攻撃、立ち C 攻撃やレバー前斜め下プラス C 攻撃といった技が対応しているわ。分かったらさっさとやることね。
So as you can tell, it definitely injects the character of the narrator. That's Rachel Alucard, one of the playable characters in this game, by the way. She is teaching Ragnar how to play the game, as well as explaining a full explanation while in character. So here we go. Jump cancel. So let's just chop through this bit. Again, we'll do another bit. Dash cancel, this is how you do dash cancel. Let's just do 2 sections. And there we go. And I'm just going to get out of here. I'll just get out of here for now. That's basically how the tutorial goes. And it's very thorough. It covers all of the basics that you would need as a newbie for BlazBlue. If you don't want to deal with combos, or if you just have a hard time and want to get through the story, there's also a stylish mode. The stylish mode is actually pretty darn useful. It's quite a bit better than, say, the touch mode in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, also for PlayStation Vita. I've played that as well, and then immediately traded it back. It wasn't that good. But yeah, the touch mode in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom is you only get one combo, which is absolutely hilarious. The stylish mode in BlazBlue, on the other hand, is far more flexible. It's still really easy to punish for an experienced player, but it's quite a good way to get into the game. So, let's see here. Arcade mode, it's standard randomized opponents. There are a couple of set opponents with a few story bits here and there. That's basically how it goes. Versus mode is fight against a set computer of your choice. In the console versions, this would also be the 2-player co-op. Unfortunately, there's no way to do that on the Vita. Score Attack and Unlimited Mars are almost the same thing. Basically, you want to get the highest score possible based on various criteria, like how much damage you take, whether or not you get the first hit, finishing with a special attack, and stuff like that. The main difference, though, is that in Score Attack, you fight against regular characters. In Unlimited Mars, though, you fight against unlimited characters. That means the superpowered versions of the characters, and you can unlock those further on in the game. Training mode is you just basically gotta practice dummy, and you get to see your damage and all that good stuff. Challenge mode is it shows off a bunch of different combos for each character. Mostly combos. A couple of them are slightly impractical, like for example, Noel's, I believe it's like mission 3 or 4. You have to chain two supers together to do less damage than the basic combo, which is hilarious, but still. For the most part, you get 15 missions each. They increase in difficulty as you go along, with a couple of exceptions. That's about it. Okay, let's get out of here. Abyss is it's a long series of matches. Various points in various points you get set bosses, but for the most part, you fight battles, you gain upgrades for your character, and you can keep doing that over and over again. Maybe I'll do a video of this in the future, but it would take far too much time to show what's going on with Abyss in the span of a snapshot, so we're gonna skip this for now. I'll get to story in a bit, so don't worry about that. Gallery it's basically small bits of unlockable content. You get images, video, and game unlockable. So here you have all the images in the arcade, all the videos in the arcade. Yes, I have 100% progress. Images in the story mode. Special images. This is all fan art that was sent in. I believe this one is apparently done by North American. More special art. Let's go see your movies. There we go. Additional content. Now, what you have unlockable is unlimited characters. That means just there's super versions of the character. You also, as well, get all these additional colors or additional skins for each character. And you get 3 different sets of announcer packs. So 2 from Saito Chiba, 2 from Kakihara Tetsuya, voice actor for Jin, voice actress for Takaka, voice actress for Carl, because apparently Japan likes to voice little boys with women. This is all the various sounds in the game. All of them, really. So you get to choose, obviously, the language type, which character, and for example, background music. So this is arcade opening for Continuum Shift Calamity Trigger. That's just the arcade opening. Let's see, if I'm not mistaken, there's one song I believe that existed in the older versions. I mean, Continuum Shift 2. Did you do that? I'm not sure. It's Ao Iconoclast. It's a song by Kotoko that was originally done for BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. It was one of the theme songs for that game. I believe it got removed in later games because the contract expired, which kind of sucks because I liked it, but whatever. So all the background music, repeat functions on or off, character voices, voice numbers, sound effects, and blah blah blah. So you can go through all those voices as well in the gallery. Let's just get out of here. Replay theater, replays. All of my replays are terrible. Don't watch them. I think there's one good replay that I downloaded, but that's it. It's this guy, and he has a good replay, but otherwise seriously, this is an embarrassingly bad round. These two are embarrassingly bad rounds for me. Don't watch them. They're terrible. Okay, network ad hoc. This is online mode. Ad hoc is just, you need other Vitas for that. PlayStation Store actually quits the game and sends you to the DLC page for BlazBlue. Options menu is the options menu. The important ones I think right now are sound and language. Two things to note in here is that, first of all, background music, you should have it down lower than voice. Because occasionally the background music will override the voice, which is really annoying, but you can make this adjustment for yourself. I've set voice language to Japanese for a reason, and I'll show you once I get into the story. It has mostly to do with translations, but I've kept the text language as English. Button settings, you can remap everything. Network options, it's just really which side you want to be. Now, rear touchpad settings. You do have the option to use the rear touchpad with this game. Do not use the rear touchpad with this game. It is a terrible idea. You will regret it completely. It is horribly inconsistent. Like, you will either sometimes you won't get the input, sometimes you will get the wrong input. It's absolutely terrible. Don't use it. I guess it's just there to be a gimmick, but seriously, don't use this feature. It's terrible. Thankfully, you don't actually have to use it, which is nice, but still. Now let's get into the story. Yeah, I'm going to stick to this plan. It's probably not a good plan, but I'm going to do it anyways. Now, first of all, let's look at tips for a second. When you get to these 5 different things, this is mostly exposition and visual novel-y stuff. It just tells you various aspects of the BlazBlue universe and just explains what the heck's going on in case you get lost. You can also get gallery rewards from this for the trophy, but that's about it. Story select. Now, I've 100%ed this, but what you have here is Calamity Trigger. It's just a summary of the Calamity Trigger story, and it's a summary of the true story of the Calamity Trigger, because it also has some various branching options. This is just a cutscene. Then you have all the story, all these character stories, and then finally True End, as well as these 2 side stories on the side here. Now, first of all, when you first load into this game, what you'll get is most of these will have a little lock on them. And the first story that you'll gain access to is Ragna. After you get to a certain point in that story, then you unlock other stories. I believe you unlock Noel's and Jin's, or I could be wrong, I can't remember exactly, it's been a while. And eventually, as you progress through each individual story, you get to unlock the other stories, etc., etc. These 2 are also unlocked. These 2, EX1, EX2, they don't actually have gameplay. The other ones do, but that's about it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump straight into the story. What I'm going to do here is actually a really hard and stupid idea, but here we go. I'm going to go through Tsubaki's story and try to trigger the bad ending. If I don't manage to get it on the first try, I'm just going to drop it, or whatever. If you know how to trigger Tsubaki's bad ending somehow, even though you're watching a first impressions video, then you'll understand that yes, it's actually pretty hard to trigger. So let's just get through this. I'll show you a bit of the voice acting first.
悪いけれど、それは教えられないわ。もしよかったら、私と一緒にここの統制機構支部に行きましょう。何があったかゆっくり聞かせて。
やっぱり予想通りです。
カルル君？
それは統制機構の機密だからですか？それとも戸が追いの僕なんかに情報は提供できないと。
違う、そうじゃないの。あなたがお父さんを探しているのは分かった。協力してあげたいと思うけれど、あいにく情報なんて。
嘘だ！椿先輩、先ほど一瞬考え込みましたよね。僕には分かります。そうだよね、姉さん。
どうしたというの？カルル君、士官学校時代とはまるで。
もういいです。椿先輩もあの人たちと同じ大人なんですよ。
カルル君、何を？
教えてもらえないのなら力ずくで聞き出すまでですから。
And that's basically the premise for every single fight. They get into an argument or something like that. And it basically comprises a bunch of fights. Of note though is that the number of fights in Tsubaki's story is actually fewer than most of the other stories. It's only 3 total. This one is also missable if you pick the wrong dialogue option, but whatever. There's actually a pretty good reason for that though, because otherwise it would make the bad ending really hard to trigger. Now let's see if I can get this. If not, I'm just going to continue it and jump out. Ah, why did I do that? Yay, basic combo spam. Let's see if I can do this. Come on. Actually, try to get the crap beaten out of me first. I'm just gonna try to go for an astral. The problem with the CPU that I picked is that it doesn't actually block properly. Okay, here we go. It's nothing. Here we go. Damn it. Okay, screw it. We're just gonna drop it. And then I'll just go on with the story. What you have to do is you have to finish the story mode by finishing each battle with a special attack, which is actually a lot harder than it sounds, especially if you suck at the character, but that's about it. Well, let's just skip through all this. Let's see. Okay, I'm getting close to the part that I want to show you. This is really quickly, because it's about the translations. Let's see here. Almost, and there we go. And this part. Now, why the heck am I showing you this? Contrast what you heard against what you're reading right now. That's one of the issues and why I actually set the voice acting to Japanese, because this is basically in English this would be equivalent of, say, a pinky swear or cross my heart hope to die. Actually, well, it actually says cross my heart hope to die on it, but I don't believe that's actually what the Japanese words are, because the way that this is phrased in English and translated, it's slightly awkward. And if I put it in as the English voice acting, it would sound really awkward. And that's quite consistent with a lot of the storyline. I mean, even in the Calamity Trigger summary, they actually forcibly do a desync of the voice acting versus the writing, where the writing says, and I quote, "He who spams ice cars so thoroughly," whereas in the voice acting, it's never mentioned at all. And this is a weird thing about the translation. It's a little bit inconsistent from time to time. In other parts, the translation is awkward, not by fault of the translators. It's just you're trying to translate a whole bunch of Japanese idioms into English. It doesn't really work too well. So I'm just going to get out of here now, because unfortunately I can't get the bad ending. It's a bit annoying. Oh well. It's actually really hard to get to. So I'm just going to show you the very start of this without going into too much detail. Again, this takes up a lot of time. I don't want to show you the whole thing in a snapshot. This is also the same structure that the bad endings use. Yeah, this is similar to how the bad endings go. Because they're the serious story parts. There are also the joke endings for each route. There are joke, good, and bad endings. The only one who doesn't have a joke ending is Hakumen. That's about it. So then we can just skip through this bit a little bit, and this is because of the visuals once you actually see stuff. Yeah. It's a very, this is already an anime style, but this goes a lot further. This is really just plain cartoony, completely contrived. Like, why the heck are they in their school uniforms when in reality this is, it's completely contrived. It's completely tongue-in-cheek. I'm gonna skip out of this now. I don't want to spoil too much of it for you. It's a huge chunk of the fun, but you just have to acknowledge that yes, this is here. You also need it to get 100% completion on the gallery, because at the end of this, you get a short little quiz about where you're paying attention, and then if you get the quiz right, you get an image that gets added to the gallery, and you can get 100% completion off that. That's about it. Let's get out of here now. And I'm just going to spam arcade while ranting to you guys. Oh, yay. Here's the standard battle system, by the way. Wait for it to load. Yes, you have to wait for it to load a lot. Oh, I picked Lambda because I picked Lambda. Let's see. What the hell is it? This one? I don't remember. No, it's this one. Alright. Now, for the most part, let's get right down to it. Would I recommend this game? First and foremost, you have to get out of the way is that this is the anime art style. At the end of the day, if you don't like the anime art style, if you don't like the Japanese, too bad, I'm sorry, you won't like this game at all. There's nothing I can do about that. Now, the actual fighting itself, first of all, I would say that it's fairly easy to pick up. It's like not super easy. Like for example, say Persona 4 Arena, where literally you can push one button to get combos. Now, mind you, the auto combo isn't actually competitively viable, but still. Oh yay! This is one of the recolors. Yeah, I got the recolor wrong. Whatever. Oh well, this is actually supposed to be new Gundam. Ha 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 ha! Funny. It's a relic from the Calamity Trigger when it was new, not Lambda. But for the most part, combat system is pretty good. The CPUs at higher difficulties are actually really hard. Of course, I have like 50 PSR, so I'm not exactly good. As you can see, I'm dropping combos against the first CPU. But whatever. And of course it goes silent because I'm really bad at video games sometimes. Yay, I'm terrible. There we go. Dumb ending. Now, let's see here. Anime aesthetic, yes. The combat, I would say, it's reasonably easy to pick up. In terms of the story itself, I would say, is somewhat generic in terms of anime and manga sort of style. Nothing super special, but whatever. But it is a very in-depth story. It does give attention to all the characters in the game, which is a lot better than, say, other games which just like focus on the 2 or 3 main characters. Let's see here. In terms of replayability, replayability is absurd. Like, absolutely absurd compared to its competition. So overall, would I recommend this game? Yeah, I would recommend this game. Because back when the Vita had almost no games, this is the game that I played for hours upon hours upon hours upon hours. Like, I'm not even that good at it. I just played so much of this. I managed 100% both the gallery and the story. I'm still only 50% of the way through the achievements. So, there's an insane amount of replayability. In terms of the online, I've checked into it a couple of times. The online mode is not dead, but it's very sparse, and the people you will get to play against have PSRs of like 300 plus. So they're actually really good players. I got my butt kicked repeatedly by these guys. It's not, I'm not that good at all, as you can probably tell, but still. So overall, who would I recommend this game to? I would recommend this game mostly to people with some interest in fighting games. But if you just want a game with a story and you're looking for options, this is actually still okay. Because the story is, again, it's not super special story, but it is good enough. I mean, it's not a super special story, but it's just good enough to say this game has a story. Would I compare it against something like, say, I don't know, Mortal Kombat? I don't know. I actually haven't played Mortal Kombat yet, but for the most part, this is a game that you can get a lot of replay value out of. No, I can say that without a single doubt. This is a game you can get a ton of replay value out of. It's definitely going to be worth your money if you plan on putting time into it. If you don't plan on putting time into it, at the moment, I think after it's been out for so long, it's actually going for pretty cheap. So you can probably get it for a fairly good deal. By the way, if you try to get the box copy, it's actually slightly false. It tries to tell you that there's no online multiplayer. There is online multiplayer. I dropped my combo again. Oh well. So yeah. Also, if anyone has noticed, there are like 5 people in the world who would notice this, but my channel picture used to be Lambda's head, so yay. That's just how much I like this game. Yeah, I would recommend it to anyone with an interest in fighting games. I also have a snapshot on Dive Kick, which people say would recommend it to newbies. No, I would not recommend Dive Kick to newbies. But this is a great introduction. It's got enough crutches for newbies. It has enough depth for longtime players. But there's a catch. And the catch is BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma. Because I have no idea when and if Chrono Phantasma is going to come out for the PlayStation Vita. Because it could come out at the same time as the PS3 version, which was announced. It could come out as like Chrono Phantasma 2. It could come out with Chrono Phantasma Extend. It could come out like after BlazBlue 4 comes out. I don't know. So, because if this was a few months ago, I would say yes, grab BlazBlue. But it's because we don't know if Chrono Phantasma is going to come to the Vita, I find it a little bit more difficult to recommend. But for the most part, if you just want to get something right now, then yes, I can recommend it. So TLDR, this is a really fun game. I got a lot of enjoyment out of this. Play it, seriously. My name has been VSin. This is me dropping all my combos. And thanks for watching.